Have you ever paused to wonder why, despite having so much, an undercurrent of inadequacy still lingers? Why moments of joy seem fleeting and achievements feel hollow the moment you glance at the lives of others? In a world saturated with curated perfection and relentless exposure to the success of others, it's almost inevitable to become ensnared in an invisible web, a web spun by the habitual and often unconscious act of comparison. These are the invisible chains of comparison culture, silently coiling around our minds, tightening with every scroll through social media, every passing glance, every silent judgment we cast. What begins as a harmless observation gradually morphs into a destructive cycle of self-doubt, steadily eroding confidence and robbing us of inner peace. It whispers that we are not enough, that we must do more, be more, and have more to measure up. And so we begin chasing illusions, losing sight of our own value. Comparison, at its core, is a master thief of contentment. It slinks into our consciousness unnoticed, disguising itself as motivation or inspiration. Yet more often than not, it leaves behind a lingering sense of inadequacy and quiet frustration. In every corner of our lives, whether in careers, relationships, or even in how we view our appearance, we constantly measure ourselves against others. This relentless measuring becomes a silent architect of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, subtly influencing the way we live. But here lies a profound paradox. The standards by which we compare ourselves are illusions. They are pieced together from fragments of other people's carefully curated realities. No one reveals the full story. The sleepless nights, the silent struggles, the sacrifices behind their triumphs. And yet we compare our raw, unfiltered existence to the highlight reels of others, forgetting that what we see is only a fraction of the truth. This distortion breeds dissatisfaction and keeps us perpetually striving for something that may not even exist. Imagine standing in a hall of mirrors, each mirror offering a distorted reflection of yourself. Some make you appear taller, others shorter. Some enhance your features, while others diminish them. These reflections are not true representations, yet they subtly shape how you see yourself. This is the effect of comparison. The problem is not the mirrors themselves, but the belief that these distorted images reflect reality. The more we accept these illusions as truth, the more we surrender control over our own narrative. Our worth becomes entangled in how we believe we measure up to others, and we drift further from our authentic selves. This pursuit of external validation silences our inner voice, leading us down a path that feels increasingly hollow and disconnected from who we truly are. Social media, despite its capacity to connect us, amplifies these distortions on a global scale. Every flawlessly edited photo, every public display of success, subtly whispers that we are falling behind. We see someone celebrating a promotion and question our career choices. We witness images of perfect relationships and wonder why our own connections feel strained. Yet what we fail to remember is that social media is merely a stage, a carefully curated theater where only the best moments are presented. The struggles, the failures, the quiet moments of doubt remain hidden behind the curtain. This fragmented portrayal of life feeds a dangerous misconception that others have discovered the elusive formula for happiness and success while we are still searching. This illusion becomes a breeding ground for self-criticism and restlessness. Yet comparison is not a phenomenon born in the age of social media. It is deeply embedded in human nature, originally serving as a tool for survival. In ancient times, comparison helped us assess risks, align with social groups, and navigate societal hierarchies. But what once helped us survive now sabotages our fulfillment. The world has changed, but the instinct to measure ourselves against others persists, dragging us into an endless loop of self-assessment against ever-shifting standards. Success, beauty, and worth have become subjective ideals, yet we chase them as though they are fixed, universal truths. We forget that fulfillment is deeply personal, something only we can define for ourselves, not something dictated by the perceptions or achievements of others. Breaking free from this comparison trap requires a conscious shift in perspective. The first and most crucial step is awareness, becoming mindful of when and how comparison arises. Pay attention to those moments when admiration turns into envy, or when a simple observation spirals into self-criticism. Ask yourself, is this thought supporting my growth, or is it pulling me further away from my authentic self? This brief moment of reflection disrupts the automatic cycle and offers the opportunity to choose a different response. Recognizing that comparison is not an inherent truth, but rather a learned habit empowers you to reclaim control over your thoughts. With this awareness, you can begin to dismantle the narrative that insists you must measure up to external standards and start building one that honors your individuality. This conscious awareness creates space for self-compassion and self-acceptance. It allows you to acknowledge your own journey without diminishing it through the lens of others' perceived success. Every person's path is uniquely complex, woven with different circumstances, choices, and lessons. No two journeys are the same, and therefore no fair comparison can be made. By recognizing this, you give yourself permission to grow at your own pace, to celebrate your own milestones, and to live in alignment with your true self. Comparison loses its power when you begin to focus inward, when you turn your energy toward nurturing your own growth instead of measuring it against someone else's. This inward focus fosters self-trust and builds resilience, freeing you from the invisible chains that comparison culture has quietly fastened around you. The more you cultivate this internal alignment, the less you feel the need to seek validation from the outside world. Reflect on this. How much of your energy has been spent chasing a version of success or happiness that isn't even yours? What might your life look like if you redirected that energy toward cultivating your own passions, your own growth, and your own unique path? Let this be a call to reclaim your narrative, to step away from the distorted mirrors, and to recognize that your worth has never depended on comparison. It has always resided within you, waiting to be embraced. The next step is reclaiming your own narrative, a transformative process that demands intentional reflection and conscious action. You were not born to replicate someone else's path or fit into a mold designed by societal expectations. Your journey, with all its struggles, triumphs, detours, and breakthroughs, is a singular story meant to be authored by you alone. Consider the goals you are chasing. Are they genuinely aligned with your deepest values, or are they reflections of external standards imposed by family, culture, or media? Pause to reflect on what truly ignites your spirit. Are you striving toward achievements that nourish your soul, or are you unconsciously chasing validation by mirroring what others deem valuable? The moment you begin to align your actions with your authentic desires, you weaken the suffocating grip of comparison. Every small victory, every step forward, no matter how insignificant it may seem, deserves to be celebrated because it is rooted in authenticity, not in competition. This acknowledgement fuels intrinsic motivation, reminding you that your worth is defined by your progress, not by how it stacks up against others. Now consider this powerful shift in perspective. What if you redirected all the energy you expend comparing yourself to others into creating something meaningful? Think about how much more fulfilling and enriching life would become if you focused entirely on building your dreams, rather than constantly measuring them against someone else's milestones. Creation is not born from imitation, but from inspiration, a wellspring of ideas and visions uniquely your own. When you fully step into your creative power, the weight of comparison naturally dissolves. You become so deeply engaged in crafting your own reality that looking sideways becomes irrelevant. Every step you take transforms into an act of self-expression, not self-judgment. This creative process isn't limited to art or business ventures. It's about crafting a life that reflects who you truly are, free from the shadow of others' expectations. Your creativity, when unleashed, becomes a force that propels you forward, empowering you to design a life aligned with purpose and passion. Gratitude stands as one of the most powerful antidotes to comparison. It shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, illuminating the richness already present in your life. When you consistently take the time to acknowledge what you have, your strengths, your growth, your opportunities, the allure of comparison begins to fade. Gratitude roots you in the present moment, reminding you that fulfillment is not found in chasing someone else's version of success, but in deeply appreciating your own journey. Pause and ask yourself, what do I have today that I once desperately wished for? This simple yet profound reflection has the power to dissolve the illusion that you are behind. It allows you to recognize that progress has already been made, even if it doesn't resemble the trajectory of others. Gratitude reframes your experience, making you more attuned to the abundance within and around you, silencing the internal narrative that insists you must do more, be more, or have more to be enough. Equally important is the radical acceptance of imperfection. The relentless pursuit of perfection is a trap, a cycle that perpetuates comparison by setting unattainable standards. When perfection becomes the goal, you inevitably find yourself comparing your flaws to someone else's polished facade. But perfection is an illusion, a construct that only leads to exhaustion and dissatisfaction. Recognizing that flaws are inherent to the human experience allows you to shift from judgment to self-compassion. Your imperfections are not shortcomings, they are integral parts of your story, shaping your growth, resilience, and unique perspective. Each mistake and misstep teaches invaluable lessons and deepens your character. By embracing imperfection, you liberate yourself from the impossible standards of comparison and open the door to authentic self-acceptance. This acceptance cultivates a sense of freedom, a space where you are allowed to grow, stumble, and evolve without the constant pressure to measure up to an ideal that doesn't exist. Letting go of comparison does not mean relinquishing ambition or abandoning the desire for growth. It means redefining success on your own terms, aligning your goals with your values, passions, and purpose. Success is not a competition. It is a deeply personal journey of aligning your actions with what brings you meaning and fulfillment. By turning inward and focusing on your internal compass rather than external validation, you begin to create a life that feels truly meaningful to you. True growth cannot be measured by how closely you mirror someone else's path. It is measured by how aligned you are with your own truth, how courageously you pursue your own definition of success, and how fully you live in accordance with your values. This internal alignment becomes a guiding light, illuminating a path of purpose that no external standard can dictate. Reflect for a moment. How often have you minimized your own achievements because they didn't seem as impressive as someone else's? How many doors have you left unopened because you believed you weren't ready, while others seemed effortlessly capable? These moments are powerful invitations to reclaim your inherent worth, separate from any external validation. You were never meant to be a mirror of someone else's success. You are here to embody your unique expression of life, to walk a path that is yours alone. Recognizing this truth empowers you to stop diminishing your progress and start celebrating your individuality. It encourages you to step boldly into opportunities, trusting that your readiness is defined by your willingness to try, not by comparison to others. As you move forward, imagine the profound sense of freedom that comes with releasing the weight of comparison. Picture waking each day anchored in your own purpose, guided by your core values, and unmoved by the noise of external judgments. This freedom is not something granted, it is something claimed. It begins with a conscious decision to untangle yourself from the invisible chains of comparison and to step fully into the richness of your own path. This choice is an act of self-liberation, a reclaiming of your energy, your focus, and your authenticity. I invite you to reflect deeply on your own experiences and share them in the comments below. How has the culture of comparison shaped your life? What steps are you now taking to break free and live more authentically? Your story holds immense power. By sharing your truth, you create space for others to recognize their own struggles and begin their journey toward freedom. Together, we can cultivate a space where authenticity, growth, and self-empowerment thrive. Thank you for being part of this exploration. May you continue to grow, create, and honor the extraordinary journey that is uniquely yours. Remember this: your worth is not defined by comparison to others. It is defined by the depth of your authenticity, the strength of your resilience, and the courage to live your truth unapologetically. Let that truth be your guiding force.